Hey guys, Jason Bergenske here with Shift Happens. I got Nick, Director of Operations today for MoveitPro and Lionsden. He actually oversees both of our companies here. And sorry for us running a little late today. Always some technical difficulties, right? We're trying to do this. Doing live is something that we've wanted to do. And it's fun, but a lot of fun things can happen technically.
We'll get it sorted out eventually.
So anyways, we do have some callers in the queue, which is awesome. And we've got several questions that have already come in, people in YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that for us to talk about, which is, that's a good problem to have. We could be on here and just talk about my bachelor party in Vegas. But
I thought it was really cool. Like they started pulling in on the chat 20 minutes ago. And I was like, we're not even close to ready yet.
Yeah, well, we should have been. But so anyways, so I guess we could start, let's just first, Nick, why don't you do one of the first questions that came up? So it says, can I do an on-site estimate from the app? Well, let me go back real quick. We're going to talk, obviously, if there's questions about MoveitPro and stuff specific, we're going to answer them. But you don't have to be a customer of MoveitPro for us to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Obviously I've been in the moving industry for, really probably 30 years. I'm almost 40, but I literally grew up in a moving company. I was going out on trucks probably 9, 10 years old and probably not super good at what I was doing.
Learning.
But obviously, did trucks, did dispatch, did sales, ran a multi-million-dollar moving company that my family opened or took over back in the 80s. It had been open since 1968, and we successfully sold that a couple years ago. Because of my dad wanting to retire, obviously, and then me running MoveitPro and stuff like that, it made more sense. But that being said, you don't just need to be a customer of MoveitPro for us to be able to help, because we're happy to help. So anyway, so the first one that came in says, can I do an on-site estimate from the app without internet access? I'm going to let you take that, Nick.
So I actually get this a lot. And yes, you can. With our app, it is geared more towards the actual foremans. They're able to go out and do their bill of ladings, collect signatures and payments completely offline on the app on their phone or tablet. We've actually made it now to where you can do a full estimate, go out and do an in-home walkthrough, do all of steps, 1 through 6 of creating a quote right from the app on their phone or tablet, completely offline. The deciding factor here is they are still a driver or foreman, so they don't have the access that you would have as an actual office user. They're not able to book or schedule that job, but they can do a full estimate. They can show the customer, hey, judging by what I've seen, it's going to be $1,500.
Yep.
If you agree to this, as soon as I get back to my office, this will filter up to the cloud and you'll automatically get a email, text message about this.
Yeah, including pictures and everything like that. And obviously, if they have internet access, they can send it right there and do everything right there. Yeah. But we did that a while back, and a big part of that was for, we have some moving companies that are way out there.
In the boonies.
In Timbuktu. So anyway, so that's awesome. We have, I guess we can take a caller.
Sure.
If you guys are good, you want to go ahead and see it through. I don't see the name. You guys didn't put it up on the screen.
I would say I only see chats right now.
What did you say? It was Ken? All
Patriot
right.
Movers.
Let's let Ken
They're a customer
in.
of ours.
All right, Nick, you want to go ahead and we'll start this one.
Hey, Ken, can you hear us?
I don't think they clicked it in yet. Oh, I think we're good now. Hello, is this Ken? Hello? Hello? No? It says mute. Did you guys mute him? Okay, well, while we're waiting on Ken, let's go. Let's see here. So what are some of the new features that are coming to MoveitPro? So we have a bunch of stuff we're working on right now, but so one of the ones we're doing right now is a Zapier integration, which is really something we should have done a while back. But, all the development we do for MoveitPro is 100% based on what our current clients want. So we have an entire system that we use where customers can go and put in things that they want developed for MoveitPro, and then other customers and users can go and vote for it. And so based on those votes, then those are the things we develop at no cost to our customers. So it's funny, Zapier has been on there for a while, but it never had the most votes.
It's just now becoming more relevant where a lot more people are actually using it.
Yeah.
And we actually needed it for a few other things we were working on. So we were like, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know what Zapier is, Zapier pretty much is like, he's like a middleman for softwares. So it will allow MoveitPro, even though we're a closed API, but to be able to work with 98% of other softwares out there. So if you want to set up crazy things like, obviously you wouldn't do this, but if you wanted to, that anything that's web-based or connected app-wise, you can connect it. So if you wanted to have where when a new lead comes in, your, it automatically prints out a printer, the email, and then it sends a notification to your mom's cell phone, and then it starts the oven at 350 degrees. You literally could do all of those things, which again, you would never do. But the point being is you can connect it with a million different software. So you can have it where anytime a new lead comes in, it automatically emails that to 12 different people. Or it automatically will add that to a campaign with another software that you're using or things like that. So it's a pretty cool one. Other things we just did, we revamped a lot of our scheduling for movers and drivers in our system, where now when you're dispatching guys, you're able to see how many hours they've worked for this pay period, how many hours they're expected to work for this pay period for jobs they're already scheduled on. You're able to rank them based on their expertise, based on, if they're really good at pianos, but they're not good at safes, you can have that in there. So easily when your dispatcher is scheduling guys, they're able to pick the guys that two things. One, are not going to hit overtime. And two, the ones that are obviously going to be the most qualified for that specific job that you're doing. So those are some of the things we did. And we spent a little bit of time on that and ramped it. So, you got photos of the guys, you got descriptions, you got, it really can tie into when you have a dispatcher that maybe is not, doesn't know all the guys. You might be a moving company that has 200 movers. You might be a moving company that has 5 movers. It doesn't matter, right? But if you have 200 movers, like the dispatcher probably doesn't know every single guy and what he's perfect at.
Do I have a driver here and 2 movers, or I just have 3 movers and no driver?
Yeah, yep. So having that availability and ability to be able to do it. So that's something that we just launched. So those are a couple things. There's a bunch more coming. That's all we do. We develop. We ship it out to customers. Customers tell us what changes they want, and we do it. So it's a revolving thing.
But we are always trying to improve, and our goal is every month to have something new or an improvement on something in our system. And we've been pretty well of doing something or more every month. So
yeah, cool. So I guess there's a ton that came in over YouTube and Facebook and stuff. So anyway, anyone wants to call in, the phone number is 321-832-8225. Again, 321-832-8225. Let's move on to another one. Nick, you want to pick one from the list there of ones coming in from chat?
Actually, that third one down. Do I have to be with MoveitPro software to use the Lion's Den booking service? Lion's Den booking service is something we're actually pretty proud of. Came out about a year ago now. But we've really kind of fine-tuned it now, and we've gotten all of our reps actually onto sales training, which is just making them better at their close ratios. You do not actually have to be a MoveitPro customer to join Lion's Den. You are going to have MoveitPro software when you do join the Lion's Den, but we want you to be a member now. We are ready to book your jobs for you. We want to start calling your leads and follow-ups and getting you the most businesses we can get you. All of our reps are actually only using MoveitPro software to book and schedule these jobs. They all go through sales training every day, and they're obviously exclusive with our software. So we are going to be using MoveitPro to book and schedule your jobs. And I'll actually be there personally with you to help you get your system ready, customized the way you need it, and to the point that we're ready to start answering your calls. And if you truly have another software that you are not ready to leave, you don't want to leave, by all means, go ahead and use it. We're just going to book and schedule the jobs for you. We are going to send out emails and text messages, but it all comes from your company, essentially, not necessarily MoveitPro. And you could take that job and put it into your system and do whatever you needed to with it. But we're ready to take.
Cool. I think your mic cut out there for a couple seconds, but yeah. So I mean, pretty much like he said, whether you're with MoveitPro or not, you can use Lion's Den. If you're not a customer of MoveitPro, Anytime we book jobs or talk to your customers, obviously all that stuff is sent to you. And with the new Zapier integration, it'll actually be able to send that information directly into the CRM that you currently use, which is cool.
Yep.
So awesome. So just see here. So we had one from, say, a gentleman's name was Max. This was on Facebook. Difficult time getting jobs. Can anybody help steer me in the right direction when things are slow? So, I mean, I'll start with this one. So, I mean, here's the thing. I've been at this a long time, and I was around during the 2008 crash. And I'll tell you, cool, thank you. I'll tell you that the 2008 crash was very similar in the sense of how moving companies have been feeling over the last year. During that time, so 2005, 2006 was great for moving companies. 2007 started off okay and then really tanked. And in 2008, here in Central Florida, we watched legitimately probably half of our competitors go out of business. We did fairly well during that. Don't get me wrong. Our business went down 35, 40%, which is huge numbers. But we were pretty financially free in the sense that we didn't have a lot of debt. Our building was paid for. We had no mortgage. We had no truck loans. So we really survived it really well. So fast forward, obviously, to what we're going through right now is what I believe and what, the majority of people that have been in the industry a long time, this last 12 months to closer to 24 months has been the roughest time that the moving companies in general have had since 2008. So the thing is, and what I see time and time again is a couple things. One, you have to survive. So as long as you come in this and you say, I'm going to survive, this is not how it's going to be forever, because that's the reality. It's not going to last forever. And you can understand that and get through it, you're going to thrive so much, because that's the biggest thing. Once you get through this, half of your competitors have gone out of business. And I'll tell you, even people that use MoveitPro, I'll tell you, there's companies that have used us for years and grew huge companies and then saw them downsize dramatically or go out of business.
Yeah.
There's companies of other CRMs, same thing. So, it's just one of those things. So, and then, the big thing to add to that is it's the hustle and the grind. I had someone on my podcast, Ryan from Local Movers, last month, a month ago, something like that. And his kid started off green, never really worked for a moving company before, started his moving company just on Craigslist, a $5 ad, and printed up 500 business cards and printed up 100 yard signs. And he would go every Friday night at 10, 11 o'clock at night and put yard signs at all the busy intersections. And it just had Local Movers and then his phone number. And then every Sunday night he'd pick them up. And the reason he did that is because come Monday morning, the county goes and collects them and they throw away your signs. So he did that, which obviously increased his sales a lot. And then he did the hustle, man. He went from door to door at apartment complexes, introduced himself, handed out cards. I think he said he literally passed out 500 cards in a week. And that's not like, here's 20 cards. Like, this is like, here's 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the next apartment complex. And it's so interesting because talking to him, he's been open 4 years. He said, this has been he goes, I keep hearing about people saying how bad it is. He goes, I've been lucky, I guess. I said, you haven't been lucky, man. You fought your way through that and you didn't even realize it, that you've created so much that made it where you're not feeling the pain because you've hustled so much to get the business.
Yep.
So I think a big part of it is just the hustle, the grind. I think that when you're slow as a moving company, is the time truly that you need to spend as much time as you can building your brand, building your customer relationships. Every move you do is worth 3, 4, 5 more moves, in the sense of either from them or their family or referrals they can give you. And, it's easy when you're slow to want to make cutbacks and to want to, just worry about only getting the new customer, which don't get me wrong, you need to do, but you need to spend time with your current customers. You need to be so present. If you only have, a couple jobs a day or something, man, you as an owner, you should be going on every one of those jobs. I'm not saying as a mover. I'm saying you show up on that job, you take pictures of your guys, you meet the customer, you introduce yourself, you spend 15 minutes there, you drop Gatorades off, you make a presence, and then you tell the customer that if anything they need after the move, contact me. that there, as soon as they talk to other people regarding, how their move went and stuff, they're gonna tell them so much good stuff rather than just a bunch of guys showing up. There's no brand, there's no person to it. So I really think that's a big part of it. Relationships is the biggest part. But just don't give up. That's the biggest thing. I think moving companies are starting to come out of it a little bit. We've seen it already in influx. I'll tell you, in our call center for June of this year, so we're just finishing June, we've done almost double the amount of sales in booked moves that we did last June. Yep. Which is good. And that shows us a lot. So obviously we do have some more customers, but we also lost some customers. So we, in general, overall, we have more customers, but it's not double the amount of customers. So I do think it's coming back. So I hope that answered your question. If you have anything else, man, just let us know.
I also think don't be afraid to use lead providers. A lot of people either don't want to use them because they don't want to pay for leads, things like that. They're a great source of income. And if you just get with a couple, 2 or 3, if you can still do business, add on another. If you can still do business, add on another. Yeah. Until you're completely full, take any means of source you can get. So and with that, you need to track them. So I mean, if you're using a CRM, any CRM for the most part anymore, you're gonna be able to track your referrals or your jobs where you're getting them from. In MoveitPro, we have, and I think a few of the other ones have it, but we have where we can do ROI report. So literally, if you do put in, for instance, moving.com, I'm not endorsing moving.com, but top to head. So if you put in moving.com and you say, I'm paying, $12 per one of those leads, every time one of those leads comes in, it's going to automatically calculate how much you've spent in leads. And then all the jobs that you get from that, it's going to show you how much you estimated from those leads. And it's going to show you how many closed and how much they booked for. So that's the biggest thing, because at the end of the day, all the lead providers tell you you're going to make a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, most lead providers, they're selling their leads to 10 other movers. Yes. And you're only going to book typically 2 to 5% of those customers. Now, here's the thing. If that 2 to 5% is making you $30,000 a month and you spend $1,000, that's not bad. But if you're spending $30,000 $10,000 a month and you make 30 grand, that's terrible. So you need to be tracking it to make sure. So we do have some callers. Let's go ahead and take this one. We got Zane. Looks like you're in California, new owner, and wants to share a short story. Let's hear it, man. What's up, Zane?
Hey, yeah. So, hey, how's it going, man?
Good, buddy.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So, basically, I just wanted to kind of put my story out there. Basically, when I was 15 years old, in California, you can't get a job until you're 16. Uh-huh. So I would, so basically what I started doing is I would stand in front of the U-Haul with, all the Mexican guys trying to get work and, meet customers like that, just ask people if they need help moving when they were renting out a truck. I fell in love with it, man. I started moving people. I started getting my own customers calling me at like 15 years old. By the time I turned 18, I started my own company called the Extra Hand Professional Services.
Yeah. Awesome.
And basically, like once I started off, I got on Thumbtack, which was like, it's like what you guys were talking about, lead generating site.
Yeah.
They would send you leads, you pay for it.
That's awesome.
And, basically, yeah. Go ahead.
So, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's the big thing, man, is having a work ethic. So, I mean, you'd brought up, so, I mean, it's funny. So Ryan, the guy, and I think you'd said in here, curious about Ryan's story. So Ryan, which again, super cool dude. He started off, went to college, which I'm not saying you go to college, but went to college, came home and, was like, I need to get a job. And so he went on Craigslist and started working for another mover. And then, ended up hurting his back and was like, man, for $15 an hour, I got to do something else. So I either need to, figure out my own thing or, or I need to figure out another career path, cause obviously he didn't go to college to be a mover. Right. But then his big thing was the grind, he hustled. And, he's grown a substantial moving company down here in Florida. If you haven't watched that podcast, I definitely watch it. Super cool guy. So what questions you got for us?
So basically, like with, it's been like a wild journey, like honestly, since I was young, trying to get, trying to get jobs and then getting on Thumbtack. One thing that I did do is like on Thumbtack, it's a very competitive site because like you just mentioned, they'll send your lead to like 10 different professionals.
Yeah.
So my thought process when I was young and like 17 years old, 18 years old, I was like, if these people could charge this much, I could do it for like 10% less or something. So I kind of started lowballing people and doing things like that, which isn't really good in business.
Sure.
But it got me reviews, it got me the jobs. Once I started getting all the jobs and getting reviews, that's when I changed the whole aspect of our work, because then we became Thumbtack's highest rated company with over 500 reviews.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So and now you don't have to lowball
yourself. Once we got all those reviews, that's when we started changing the price and changing our dynamic of the work that we do. Like we started raising our prices and things like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I think a lot of companies when you're first starting out, you kind of lowball yourself, and I mean I think that's part of business, right?
It's kind of okay in the beginning to get your name out there, to get some good reviews, but once you are an established company, you really, especially during the summer months when everyone expects your prices to go up.
Yeah.
It's time to jack them up a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that's good. And I think that's very similar to how Ryan started. Ryan used to charge pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive. Because unfortunately in the very beginning, you don't have a reputation, right? They don't know what they're going to get.
Yep.
And so you're trying to get those people to trust you in the beginning, even though you have no reviews, you probably don't have a site, you don't have a labeled truck, you don't have any of that stuff, right? That the guy that's charging $180 an hour for 2 guys has. So it makes total sense for you to come in and underbid them to get in. And the key is that do that with a mission. Don't just do it to do it. So when I say that is when you do, which you did, when you do it for a mission, the mission is you're going in, you're going to underbid your competitors slightly. Don't ruin the industry, right? Don't go in for like $20 an hour per guy, right? But you're going to go in, you're going to underbid your competitors a little bit, but with the mission of growing a company, building your 5-star reviews, and building a brand that you don't have to discount. You don't have to lower your prices to get the business, which it sounds like you did, which is awesome. What part of California are you in?
Los Angeles.
Cool, in LA. That's awesome. That's actually where our producer's from, so that's cool. He just moved down here within the last little while, so that's awesome, from LA. So cool. So how's your company doing now? How long have you been going at it as far as an actual company?
It's been like 5 years. I'm 23 years now. I started when I was 18. Things have kind of been on and off, to be honest with you, especially like the way the economy is out here in California.
Yeah.
We're kind of trying to push through and still advertising stuff. I do like flyers. We do all that stuff like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
We're on Thumbtack. We started making Instagram reels, so like we're pretty big on Instagram. We do like I always offer the customer like, hey, is it okay with you if we record, if we do stuff, things like that. And usually they don't have any problems with it. So we'll we always like take videos and try to make reels because we feel like it's kind of like free advertisement. If you could get like good videos and things like that, set up a little tripod and get some good footage in and make like a nice reel. Instagram is like social media is one of those things where everybody's on, and if you could just make videos, it's like free advertising.
Yeah,
exactly.
Brand awareness.
That we do work towards.
That's cool. How'd you find us?
So I found you guys a while back because honestly with me, I was running the business for quite some time, but I never really kept track of my stuff, and I didn't know how to. Like I started off like really young. I didn't have anybody guiding me. I didn't work for a moving company to see how they did it.
Sure.
I kind of went like with the blind eye, and started. So once things started getting more serious, I was like, no, I have to keep track of everything that I'm doing, all the jobs, ROI, everything. So once I found out about MoveitPro. That's when I signed up with you guys and joined your guys' system, and it works great,
That's awesome. I didn't even know you were a customer.
I thought
That's awesome.
I recognized this company name, but there's a lot that are similar. So
that's awesome. That's cool. Didn't even know you were a customer. That's awesome, man. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. How long have you been a customer of MoveitPro?
I'd say about a year now.
Cool.
Awesome.
Sweet. That's awesome. Well,
it helps keep track of everything, like customers and everything like that. You kind of have to keep track of everything because I wasn't doing, anything at all. Like even when I would pay my guys, I was just sending them Zelle payments or, giving them cash. But it's like, that's going to mess me up in the long run,
Yeah.
But with MoveitPro, you can keep track of customers, keep track of payments, keep track of, anything.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, sweet, man. Well, thank you so much for being a customer, and thank you for calling in, man. If I think we're doing these bi-weekly. We had a little technical difficulty starting this one, so we were a little late, unfortunately. But thanks for calling in, and you'll have to call in on the next one.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Zane.
Thank you.
You too, buddy. All right, so we got some more chats came in. Let's go ahead. I've thought about switching to MoveitPro. I see you guys everywhere, but I've been with my CRM for 10 years and all my data is there. I know how it works, but I like how MoveitPro looks and what it offers. But if our system isn't broke, why fix it? So
that's a good one, actually.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So you're right. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But here's the thing. There's a reason that you see us everywhere. There's a reason that we continually are growing. There's a reason that, that we are where we're at. I'll tell you this. We are the only moving CRM that has been built by movers for movers. There's a couple out there that say it, but they never owned a moving company. So I don't know how they say it.
They have some tech guys that know software and yeah, I can make this work.
Yeah.
So they don't have the knowledge or experience.
So here's the thing. I mean, we built and grew, a multi-million-dollar moving company. It was in business for over 53 years. This company, and then this is not me being unhumbling or being braggy necessarily, but this is a company that afforded our family, vacation homes, cars, vacations, provided, big homes. I mean, just tons of stuff, for 100 employees. I mean, that's the type of stuff of, where the knowledge that's built MoveitPro came from. And so that's worth something. And that's obviously there's a way we do things of the reason of why we do things. And I'll just tell you, I think a big part of it is being open to change, because that was one of the biggest things that I think has affected past companies in general. So we talked about this on another one of my podcasts. You talk about Blockbuster. So Blockbuster, I'm old enough to remember Friday nights going to Blockbuster.
I still miss it.
Yeah. Friday nights going to Blockbuster and walking through the aisles and about to pay, I don't know, $8 to rent a movie for 3 nights or whatever it was.
$3.99.
Was it $3.99? Whatever it was. I don't remember, right? But renting a movie for the point that you're going to watch it over the weekend. If you're lucky and your parents loved you, you'd rent 3 or 4 movies. And then they came out with being able to rent PlayStations and stuff. Anyways, here's the point of the story is none of us thought that this huge conglomerate enterprise, Blockbuster, nationwide company would go out of business. No one. And further to that, Netflix opened up. Netflix started, and I remember this, shipping DVDs. You could pay for, I don't know what it was, $11.99, and they'd ship you 3 DVDs and you mail them back. That was the competitor to Blockbuster. Well, Blockbuster was approached by Netflix to buy them for $50 million to purchase out Netflix when they started their streaming service. And Blockbuster turned them down and laughed. Blockbuster now has filed bankruptcy. They're out of business. They're gone.
It was basically overnight.
Gone. So they have one location left, which
really?
I forget. I think it's in, I don't know. I have to look it up. There's one location. It's actually hilarious. It's on Airbnb.
For historic reasons, I
guess. On Airbnb, and you can actually rent it and stay in the Blockbuster on Airbnb for like $200 a night. They set up a movie theater and stuff in it. But yes, it's set up as a history piece.
That's crazy.
But it's the last standing Blockbuster. But the point being is, I don't know the specific revenues of Blockbuster, but it was more than what Netflix was selling to them. Now Netflix, as we all know, is just turned into their production house. They produce films. Some of the best films that are coming out are by Netflix. I mean, it's billions of dollars worth of company. that Blockbuster missed out on. And not only did they lose on, they lost their butt. They're out of business.
Netflix has got to be happy that they didn't take the deal.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So, I mean, the big thing is, my father probably was very similar thinking in the sense that if it's not broke, don't fix it. My dad ran the moving company Pen and Paper for 30 years. When I started to build MoveitPro, let me just preface with this. My dad is very supportive of our efforts here at MoveitPro. Start with that. When I first went to him about building MoveitPro, he thought it was a joke and thought that it would never work. And not that he was being mean, but he had the mentality of if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why would we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to build something to hopefully make money? And I'll tell you, one of the best moments in my life was the day that I walked into his office and we had done more in 1 month than J&J Metro had done in a year. And J&J was a big company. And, he was proud too. There was no, it was, so, I mean, the thing is change is necessary. Change is part of business. Change is what it is. And it's how business goes. We do the same thing. We do changes around here constantly. We're doing different softwares or changing this or changing the way we do our podcast or whatever. It's part of change and it's a big part of our success. So
a lot, what I think this question's focused on is I get like, even if you had a CRM, like a lot of people don't have CRMs, they have Excel spreadsheets and Google calendars, and they're making it work with 10 different platforms. We can take all of your client data and put it into MoveitPro. So you're not losing everything you've had over the last 10 years you've been open.
Sure.
Even if you send us a file, we'll take care of it for you, put it all in your system. Even if you happen to leave MoveitPro, like we can pull all that info out. You can save everything to a PDF or a CSV. It's all very accessible. So it's not something that you're going to live and die in MoveitPro. It's very accessible and easy to change. The biggest thing, other than actually transferring files and stuff like that, it's getting your crew guys to actually learn something new. They've been doing it their way for 10 years. They don't want to change. But I hear more often than not, I wish I'd have done this years ago. Yeah. And as soon as you force your guys to do it, we're actually going to teach you. All of your training is completely free and unlimited. We will sit down with your drivers and foremans, and 1 20-minute talk, we can show them how to do it, and they'll be on their own after that. And most of the time, they're going to come back to you saying, yes, this is so much easier than we've been doing.
Yeah. Can we scroll down on our screen a little bit through the chat? There was one that was, so it's not, it says, how would MoveitPro help this situation? But it's not just MoveitPro. This is was a PSA? Ooh. PSA. I think a PSA for public service announcement for all movers, right? So this particular one says, right there, yeah. Says they accidentally broke clients one piece of furniture, agreed to buy a replacement. We walked through everything with her and it was okay. Now she says we broke a lot more. We did not have her sign anything, didn't use contracts or inventory lists. So this is the PSA.
That's why our system uses contracts and inventory lists.
Yeah, but let's not even go MoveitPro. Let's just talk in general. If you are a moving company owner, this is for you. You need contracts. You need inventory lists. That's the facts. That's what it is. Now, here's the thing. There are some states that are unregulated. I think Wisconsin's one of them. Unregulated as far as for movers. You still need a contract. Even if the state doesn't require you one, you want a contract because
and take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
It's just safer that way.
So, some states are super strict about this stuff. Florida is somewhat strict, but I'll kind of tell you in the reasoning behind it. I don't know the full story, obviously, to this question, unless you reply to it, but I don't know if you got payment or not. I don't know the full context, but here's the thing. In Florida, and this is very similar in the majority of states for movers, we are obligated to a certain amount of money per pound. So in Florida, it's 60 cents per pound. Some
most states.
Yeah. Some states are like $1 a pound, but they're very similar. So when we ran our moving company, again, I'm not talking about MoveitPro necessarily right now, but then I'll tie that back in, but any CRM is going to do it for you. So with our moving company, when we would go out and move a house, say it's a 3-bedroom house, it's going to be a $1,500 bill, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, decently loaded with furniture, right? when we do that move, they had a contract, which is a bill of lading, we call it in the moving industry. And on that bill of lading, it outlines a lot of things. It outlines, the shipper's name and information, the address we're moving from, the address we're moving to. It outlines what we're specifically liability-wise, that we are not liable for
disconnecting washers and dryers.
Yeah, it might be
like
disconnecting washer and dryers. Might be we're not responsible for particle board furniture. So particle board furniture truly 100% is not made to be moved. If you're going to move it, technically the way it's built is it should be disassembled and reassembled. It'll still fall apart, but that's the facts of it. So anyway, you have those things on there. The customer signs when you clock in. Even if you're on a flat rate job, we still clock in because we want to be able to keep track of the jobs. And then on there has what their insurance, or in the moving industry, we call it valuation. So what their valuation is. State of Florida and the majority of states is 60 cents per pound. So what that means is the sofa that Nick is sitting on right now probably weighs 150 pounds. Let's call it 100 pounds just to make math easy. It's Wednesday. I was up a lot. I got a newborn son. So we're going to call it 100 pounds, right? So based on the valuation that's included by the state of Florida that they require us to do, that couch, if that couch either broke, fell off the truck, got stolen, or burned up, the most our moving company is obligated to pay is 60 cents per pound. Now, depending on how the customer is, a lot of times we will be very reasonable with them. We will try and fix it. We'll try and repair it, even if it's a little more than the 60 cents per pound, because we want a happy customer. That's the end of the goal, or the end game, is we want a happy customer. But what we did always is that when things would happen like that, we would send them a form, which was a claim form, and they would have to fill it out. And that claim form was super easy for them to fill out. It wasn't hard. It wasn't tons of info, but it would ask for what is the damage, what specifically is damage of it, how much is it worth, how much does it weigh. And it had space for, 5 or 6 items. If they added it, they could use multiple pages if they wanted. But the biggest key to fix your problem was 2 things. One, it would have at the bottom that this is my full and final claim. Full and final. So now your situation here is you're saying that they broke one piece, but then she comes back a few days later after you said that you would buy her something and says now she has tons more of broken stuff. So the key is to have something that they make a full and final claim. In ours, I'm going to loop in MoveitPro. I'm sure some of the other CRMs have it, but we have a claims form that you can put on your website. You can hide it if you want at the bottom, or you can have it at the top, whatever your company wants to do. But the customer is able to go on there. They can actually type in their bill of lading number, or they can search by their name. It'll pull up all their job information on your website. And then they can go through and they can add the items that are damaged, upload pictures, and it comes straight into your MoveitPro for you to either, decide what you're going to do with
Approve or deny.
Prove it, send it to your repair guy, whatever the situation is. But the key is you've got to have a contract. Otherwise, your customer fairly thinks that you owe them a new sofa. You broke it, you buy it, right? That's what we're all taught. You go to the store, you break it, you buy it. So they don't understand the moving industry. And so it's your responsibility as a moving company owner to explain how the valuation or insurance in this case works in the moving industry. Now, some moving companies offer additional insurance or valuation where they will do full replacement value, which sounds kind of like what you did. You offered to buy them a full replacement. But you might not have been obligated to do that. And now you did that. And now the customer's like, oh, geez, they bought me a new sofa.
What else can I get?
What else can I get? Unfortunately, that's the human nature of a lot of people. So, and it'll eat you up, as a moving company. It'll eat your profits. So, lessons on this is you need a contract. Yep. If you don't have a CRM, get a CRM, because they're going to include your contracts for you. So any of the CRMs, for the most part, I think. MoveitPro does. I can speak for MoveitPro. You need some type of procedure that you handle with claims. And so claims, again, we would often be able to turn a claim around and turn it into a happy customer. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is in this situation with this sofa, 60 cents per pound, we might send our repair guy out there and it's $100 repair or $150 repair. Now, I could be a jerk as the owner of the moving company and say, I'm only paying $60 of it. 60 cents per pound. It's all I'm obligated to. But explaining to the customer and saying, look, the valuation that you selected, which is included, what the state of Florida requires for all movers, not just us, it's all movers. It's 60 cents per pound. Unfortunately, the sofa weighs 100 pounds and that only gives it $60 for us to repair it. The repair is going to be $150. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pay it. Or we're going to split it with you. We're going to pay more than the $60 or whatever the thing is. And you turn the customer to understand that you have actually done more than you're required to do versus, unfortunately, without a contract, in their eyes, you haven't even done what you're required to do because there's no stipulation of what's required of you as the moving company.
With no contract, the customer just thinks you're 100% at fault, that you should take care of it 100%.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen.
Yep. So cool. So other thing, so I think this is one thing. We just signed up to be sponsors of the Titans Retreat, which is super cool. I've known Wade a long time. They used to be a customer of ours. And I'm excited to see some of my friends there. We got a lot of friends that go to that. We run a retreat too, but ours is mostly for customers, and it's a little more intimate in the mansion that we rent. This one's more, I think it's similar to like how AMSA used to be, which we used to be big at American Moving and Storage Association. And a couple of our customers are actually guest speakers for Titans Retreat, which
Nice.
JC from Black Tie, which is pretty exciting. Get to see him. I think we're going to do dinner one night, so that's cool. And so we're excited to be there. That's October something.
2nd, I think.
Second through the 4th or something. So we'll be in Tampa. So anyone that's going to be there, definitely check us out. We'll have a booth set up. We're one of the sponsors of the event. So that's cool. And then let's just see. So Nick, let's ask you some questions.
Sure.
So why don't we explain a little bit differently between hourly rates versus flat rates? Someone had.
Personally, I do want to say hourly rates.
Yeah.
I feel like I do see a lot more flat rates nowadays.
Depending on what it is.
It's really depending on what you're moving, which I totally agree. If you're moving a certain item, like say for a piano, a lot of those are more commonly going to be flat rates.
Nicholas Faulkner said, "Hey Nick, it's Nick."
Hey
In
Nick.
chat.
That's another long-term customer. We just got him back actually.
And John Michael Nardello just gave you a thumbs up and a clap.
Awesome.
Where's my thumbs up and claps? Come on, guys.
John Michael is actually one of my longest. I actually signed him up when I was a sales rep, and he was one of my first signups.
What was that, like last month?
5 years ago. He's been with us a long time. But hourly rates over flat rates, I definitely want everyone to trying to get into more hourly rates. I've seen a lot of people that do, if it's a 1-bedroom, it's this. If it's 2-bedroom, it's this. Yeah, I get that if you're starting out, but you could have a 1-bedroom that has nothing in it, or you can have a 1-bedroom that's packed floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
You can't really call that a flat.
Here's the thing. I got some input on that. So here's the thing. We dabbled in both. So with our moving company, probably 90% of our moves we did hourly. Now, I think there's a time and a place for flat rate jobs. We were very good and probably one of the better moving companies in Central Florida that moved baby grand pianos, uprights, safes, things like that. And so we flat rated most of those. And so if it was a baby grand piano, I'm going to age it a little bit, guys. I know you guys charge a lot more than this now, but baby grand piano, 8-9 years ago, I mean, we charged $400 flat, as long as there's no stairs. So we'd go out, we send 3 guys, move the piano, we'd get it done in an hour and a half, pay the guys for a 3-hour mini, it's $400. So safes, we would do some. Safes we didn't love doing as much. I'll tell you this. We had a safe coming downstairs once and got away from our crew.
Oof.
And luckily, all of our guys got out of the way. But that safe, probably, 900 pounds, 1,100 pounds, tumbled down the stairs. And when it hit the wall at the bottom of the stairs, it didn't even slow down. It ripped through the 2x4s. It gets better. Went through the wall and landed on top of the car that was in the garage.
That's great.
Yeah, our insurance agent did not like that. So anyways, but those are normally the ones we would flat rate. And here's my opinion on why we did that. we tried to flat rate, and maybe we just weren't good at it. I feel like we were pretty good at a lot of things, and I feel like we could estimate stuff really good. But our biggest problem is let me go back. If we flat rated, I had to see it.
Yeah.
Or someone had to see it from our, not me, but someone from our office had to see it. And I'm not talking about safes and pianos again. I'm talking about like it was a full move. But if we didn't see it and we were just trying to flat rate based on what you said, like it's a 1 bedroom, it's a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, whatever it is, the biggest problem was that's a big stretch. Like you come to my house, I'm not going to use my house. You come, okay, Nick, I love you. You go to your parents' house.
Are hoarders, man.
You go to your parents' house, Nick, and it's a 5-bedroom house. There's enough furniture in that damn house for an 8-bedroom house and stuff. Like it is packed, but it's not a problem. But now you take that same house with someone that doesn't have a lot of stuff, it doesn't work. Now, here's some of the things that would happen. So yes, you'd go through and you could do a full inventory. So that would be the only way I would do a flat rate. You go in, you do a full inventory. You know everything you're moving, period. Customer signs on it, you sign on it. If there's anything more, it's more. Like that's just the facts. But the whole big thing is that, in my opinion, based on when we would do flat rate moves, someone always loses.
Something would come up, something would happen that made that day twice as long. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You already agreed to this amount.
Yeah. But someone always loses is what I'm getting at. Yeah. And so it's either the customer loses
or you
or the moving company. You. Yeah. And a lot of times it'd be the moving company because we'd get there and, you know, I don't know, the elevator takes a lot longer at the apartment or this and that. And so, yeah, it's not really the customer's fault either, but it's definitely not our fault. We're just the movers. Mm. So there's just a lot of things that go there where we really tried to stick to the hourly. I'll tell you this, I have some friends in the moving industry that do flat rate and they swear by flat rate and they've built great companies.
The customer wants a flat rate. They want to know, okay, it's going to be this amount. I don't have to worry about anything else. But the customer that says, I don't have a lot to move is the one you're going to spend every day, all day at.
I don't know how many moves we've done. I mean, this is a big part of us building MoveitPro. How many moves we'd go out to and the people would just like, one of our questions, I'll tell you, this is what's funny. So we would go through the inventory, right, of like what we're moving. And so we'd ask them, you know, oh, is anything going in the garage? Oh yeah, a couple things in the garage. Can you fit 2 cars in your garage? Or is it all boxes? Oh yeah, you can only fit 1 car. Okay, there's a lot of shit in there then. But that was one of the questions because they're not trying to trick you most of the time. They don't understand. You know, they
like
think
my
it's
parents, they don't see it as a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just their natural stuff, but it's a lot of stuff.
Yep. So that's cool. So that's awesome. So I think that's it today, guys. I think we're gonna do this again in a couple weeks. Who knows who the guest's gonna be next? Might be Nick. Might be Jeannie. Might be my dad again. I don't know. We'll see. See who's around and who wants to come in on this. Not everyone loves being on camera.
I was gonna say, I see we actually got a lot of chats today, but the one call didn't work out. A couple calls came in.
Yeah.
But hoping to have more calls.
Yep. So awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. If you need anything, you know how to reach us over at MoveitPro. Phone number here is 866-435-8865. Nick's extension is
9800.
9800. www.moveitpro.com. And another blurb real quick. We do have Legends Retreat coming up in March. I think we've spent a decent amount of money so far. We've got a 28,000 square foot mansion that we rented. It's got an indoor bowling alley, indoor sauna spa, game rooms, arcade rooms, lazy river, a movie theater seats 45 people, a lot of stuff. So it
worked out perfect the first time. I'm glad we're able to do it a second time coming up. I'm hoping a lot more people actually come to the next one. I feel like our first one, a lot of people didn't believe it. We still sold it out. I don't know how we're gonna have more people there. But I really thought we'd have more people there, and I think now that we actually show pictures of it and show that it did work, it was successful. I think a lot more people actually come to this one, so I'm excited for the next one. Yeah, it's definitely gonna go good. I mean, the thing is is limited. I mean, we can only fit 45 people in the theater, and we had 41 people last 41, time. I think it was. So we need a lot more people. Whoa. 4 more people we need to show up, okay? That was just for the classes. We still have plenty of room at the place, and we do other things.
Security was getting on to us about the parking situation.
That's true, too.
Yeah. Anyways, That link, hit it. It's going to be legends, LEGENDS.moveitpro.com. I think we've sold out half the tickets already. It's a ways away yet, but you need to get your ticket. So I will say the tickets that we have on there right now are for rooms, which includes your room, includes all your food, your liquor. Some of them guys got a little liquored up. Some gals did too. We had some ladies. Anyways, but legends.moveitpro.com. Get your tickets. I think they're 2,000 something. Look, we're not making money on this.
No.
I want to tell you, like, we're not. My goal is to break even. This is not how I'm making money, is through Legends. Luckily, we make money from MoveitPro. So my goal is to do Legends Retreat, to be able to have a place for moving company owners to be able to come together, affordable, have a blast in a 30,000 square foot mansion, travel to Florida. Who doesn't want to come to Florida? And for us to be able to build better relationships with our customers, build better relationships with people in the industry, and really be able to help and make an impact in a positive way for the industry that we love, which is the moving industry. So the tickets that are on there, I think they're $26.99 is what I think they are. Not positive, $26.99. They will go up as the time goes on. We're half sold out already. And when we do sell out, we will do day pass tickets. But those we do to our customers first come, first serve. And those we do for 1,000.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. But anyways, so check that out. Make sure you get your tickets because they will sell out. We did sell out last year, and it was our first year. So we sold, I think, half of them just at the event last year. So cool. All right, thanks, guys. Sorry for holding you so long, and sorry we were late getting started. But we're learning this whole process, man, and we're figuring it out. Thank you guys all for showing up. We had a bunch of people come on today, a bunch of questions, and some callers. So
yeah, good questions, actually. So
cool. Thanks. Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, guys.